Welcome to the shooting show. This week we have a Dumfriesshire special. Sporting Rifles stalking guide Chris Dalton shows us the advantages of working a deer dog. Plus Stuart Wilson heads out for some high altitude wild goat stalking. Chris Dalton of South Ayrshire Stalking is out for one last doe stalk before the season ends. Covering an unusual patch of forestry, he's aiming to take the last few yearlings and complete the cull.
Okay, the light's just coming up now. We've come into another restock site, which is a vulnerable site. It's an SSI as well, just as an aside, so we do have to be very careful with the management of the deer on here. There's a lot of felling and restocking being done, so we have to monitor the deer situation carefully. Tony has gone past us a little bit further out into the forest to stalk a separate area, and I'm going to go up a glen into an area of hardwoods, and we'll see what we can find.
As Chris makes his way through the gate, we get a glance of just what makes this patch unusual. A wind farm carves through the sky overhead, harvesting energy above a large block of commercial forestry. With the light coming up fast, Oscar, the nose of the operation, gets ready as Chris preps for a stalk up a small stream bed. Chris knows his ground well and is heading for a specific area where deer that fit the cull plan have been earmarked. With ground cover from the terrain, noise cover from the stream and the wind taking Chris's scent away, all that can be done to achieve success is now in place. The incoming breeze carries all scents to Oscar for analysis. Oscar's nose is really the ace up Chris's sleeve in these situations. Chris and Oscar make a formidable stalking duo. They have done this many times. Oscar scents and Chris watches him intently for his cue to stop and glass. Oscar stands on point. This indicates to Chris that a deer is very close. Glassing carefully, he spots a very good buck, just disappearing into the trees. It'll be safe for a while yet. Resuming the stalk, Chris lets Oscar lead him off the main ride. The hound is pointing again, so he must be close to a deer. Maybe this time it'll be the right one. We can just make out a roe rump, facing away and browsing hard no more than 30 yards away. Chris is hopeful and gets ready on the sticks. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't present itself before the deer silently ghosts away. Undeterred, Chris glasses some more likely locations and checks areas of damage. Fraying damage is quite apparent among the young trees. Top browsing is also very evident, another cause of concern for the forester. Before the morning stalk draws to a close, Chris and Oscar get in very close to another deer, but this time he turns down the shot as it doesn't fit his criteria.
A nice stalk this morning. They don't always end successfully. Anybody that stalks will see that rapidly. We stalked up a nice glen. The dog working very well this morning. I always work with the dog. He's the early warning radar, and you'll see where he was indicating. What he tends to do is lift his nose and pull, and that usually means he's got the scent of deer. You saw where we got into a really good buck, cracking animal. That's going to make probably a trophy buck later on. And the dog really started indicating strongly, and you'll see where he lifts his leg on point, and that's my indication that we're very close to the deer. So basically the rifle is deployed. I'm really waiting for the shot, because I know, although I maybe not have seen it, I know the deer's there. About a third of the way up the glen, the dog started showing an interest, so we were slowed down and went particularly carefully. And then we got in very close to a doe that we could see through the trees, which clearly in season, and what we thought was probably going to be a shootable animal. When we got really in close to it, you could actually see that she was a mature doe, no followers, very heavily pregnant, and I'm not really under any great pressure to increase the doe cull on here, so just nice to stand and watch her and just sort of experience a deer moving without any knowledge of us. We got in probably at one point to probably closer than about 20 yards, so we sort of watched her for a while. It's always good to stand and watch for a while. You never know, there might have been a follower somewhere that we hadn't seen, but clearly she was on her own, so we just waited, let her drift out of our view, out of sight, and then just continued just over the brow of the hill into her next patch of hardwoods.
There might not be a deer in the larder, but it's nevertheless been a privilege to witness the stalk. The way Chris works in tandem with his hound would be the envy of many a stalker. All that's left is to check whether fellow stalker and business partner Tony had any better luck.
Oh, you got one. Well done. What, doe? Off that restock? Ah, no bother. So you're back at the larder. Okay, no bother. See you there.
Tony's doe will be the last of the winter cull, and the pair can start to look forward to the bucks. We waste no time in heading back to see the spoils of Tony's stalk.
Yeah, that's a nice doe.
Yeah.
Getting on a bit?
Yeah, well, that one's with a client last night. Beginner, first time out. Got a little kid. Nice body weight on it for.
Yeah, it's
shot
shot well,
Yep.
right on the money.
Yep, no problems.
Good day to take.
And that one's this morning. An old doe, past the sell by date. Not pregnant. So a good one to take.
Good. Job done then. Everybody's happy?
Yep.
Basically that's us sort of finished for the morning. We had a nice stalk this morning, as I think we've already covered. Saw some nice beasties, very good roe buck. Tony a little bit more fortunate, taking the young doe, the old doe off there, sorry. Again, fitted the cull plan quite nicely. And we also had a client out on an introduction to stalking course with Tony, so he got out last night, shot his first deer on his first stalk. So he thinks it's quite easy, but it's not always as easy as that, as we found this morning. So at the end of the day, I think everybody's happy. Good.
Chris there showing us that Weimaraners are just the thing. And now, the shooting show news.
This is the Shooting Show news, with the CLA Game Fair less than 14 weeks away. The shooting show was on location at the Basque Gamekeepers Fair, which hit new levels of success at Captain Park this weekend. Basque's Glyn Evans gave us the background on the fair and just why it has found favour among the gamekeeping profession.
This is traditionally one of the premier events for gamekeepers, and we've been fortunate that one of our main sponsors, GM Brooders, has allowed us to send out 200 to 300 tickets to gamekeeper members. So there's been a lot of keepers at this actual event. We've also had a lot of gun dog events here. Yesterday, on Saturday alone, we probably had over 800 people run through the scurries, and we also had 45 people running the gun dog test. There's also been a clay shoot and a special clay shoot competition for Basque Gamekeeper members as well, and it's been a very busy couple of days for all of the staff, visitors and volunteers.
And we found the time to sniff out some of the new products on display at the fair.
We were asked to produce a leather version of the quick slip that we've done for the guys who prefer a more quality item. This slip has been made out of waterproof leather. It's fully waxed and can take an extra wax if you need to. Pocket is just a simple pocket, again in full leather, waterproof zip, and as again on the main bag, full waterproof zip opening, 25mm padding, on the inside. Proper quality, British made product.
This is one of our new garments for this year in a fabric called the 3 Seasons fabric, which is a water resistant fleece, but it's designed for anybody that's around midges, whether up in the hill, the moorlands, the forests. It's a derivative of the quad rider with the big binocular pockets and the equipment pocket behind that, and we've attached a very fine darkened anti-midge net, which is made of a particularly good fabric because you can actually put the DEET onto the fabric rather than onto your skin.
Great Britain has a medal at the Shotgun World Cup in Tucson, Arizona. Sarah Wixie made it to the podium in the women's trap after qualifying for the final in 3rd place. She entered a tense gold medal shoot with Letitia Scanlon, but a sudden death shoot-off saw the Australian edge her into 2nd place. See a full report in Clay Shooting magazine. Working gun dogs can get clear benefits from tail docking. That's what new research has confirmed. 2 new papers from the University of Glasgow show that docking the tails of working gun dogs can prevent suffering from tail injuries. This comes after more than 1,000 working dog owners responded to the researchers' survey. Basque Scotland director Colin Shedden said the research confirmed, scientifically, what working gun dog owners already know. For more like this, don't miss Modern Gamekeeping magazine. Early bird tickets are now on sale for the CLA Game Fair. Shooting fans can get £3 off the gate price by booking tickets now through the Game Fair website. What's more, under 16s will get free entry when accompanied by an adult for the first time in the fair's history. Head to gamefair.co.uk to get your tickets now. And finally, tuberculosis levels are on the rise, even as the government ruled out expanding the badger cull for 2014. There was an outbreak of bovine TB in a herd in Cumbria, leading farmers to call for an extended cull. But the government appears to have abandoned its cull plans apart from in the 2 pilot areas in southwest England. That was the Shooting Show News.
Stuart Wilson has trekked north of the border for a different kind of quarry. He's stalking wild goat in Dumfriesshire, guided by good friend Kiri of Athina Sporting. Wild goat can be a challenging quarry, and Stuart could have a long day ahead of him. To make things even more interesting, we haven't told him how far or how high he'll be stalking. With his Merkel Helix ready to go, Stuart's all set. Kiri takes the lead and sets out in search of a likely location. Quickly, the pair start to gain altitude and they start to spy wildlife. A parcel of red deer are first up, but they're not on the shooting list today. Still, with this ground recently producing the Scottish red stag record, it's promising to see good numbers of strong hinds. Stopping for a glass amid the stunning scenery, Stuart spots something promising on the next hill. But Kiri confirms that it's just a trespassing sheep. They've got further to stalk yet. As the pair climb higher, goat seats start to appear, along with a few slots, a good sign that they're on the right track. Against Stuart's protests, Kiri decides that the best course of action is to keep on climbing. A mountain hare shares the hill with a group of hinds, but no goats as yet. We'll have to go right on to the top and stalk along the ridge.
It looks like he's already cast. Well, that's... Take a look up there. It's good numbers. They train up well. Yep. So a group of a dozen of them are. About that. I think there's about 9 or 10 that are showing.
Will they spook the goats as we go up or not?
No. I've seen them mixed in.
Right.
Yeah, I've actually seen the goats when they've been out grazing, and the reds have been sitting in the grass that they're grazing in. So
right.
They cohabit quite happily.
Finally, the guys reach the highest point.
So we made it to the top. This proves it.
How high is this? Do we know?
We're at about 2,500 feet, 2,200 feet.
You didn't tell me that this morning, otherwise I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Neil also told you that it was a mile's walk, and
So
I think we've done about 5 so far. So,
Yeah.
but
So it's a big lump on a big lump then.
it is a big lump on a big lump,
Okay.
or 2 big lumps on a big lump. What we're going to now do is stalk along the top plateau,
Yeah.
and there's a number of drop-offs,
Yeah.
and there's another quarry over on the far side here that we're going to go and look
Yeah.
into, and all of that side of the plateau now
Yeah.
is getting the sunshine, and hopefully we can find a few goats.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sign on the
Laying
way up, lots of racks,
Lots.
beds, all sorts,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah, we've seen the beds. We've seen several of the paths coming up.
Yeah.
So plenty of paths, plenty of slot. Hopefully, all we've got to find now is the goat itself.
Yeah.
So we'll
There
carry on.
should be plenty to go at then, that's the thing, isn't it?
We hope so.
Yeah.
We'll crack on and see what we can find.
Stalking along the ridge plateau, it looks like the pair are straight onto some goats.
There's a bunch up here on the brow.
Right. Skyline there, yeah.
1 minute. Kids with them, one slightly older.
Yeah.
And a young one.
Kiri gives the go-ahead to take a lone animal beneath and to the left of the main group. Stuart readies the helix. With a downward shooting angle, there's a good backstop from this position.
Reload.
It's down, yeah.
Yep. That's good.
Done and dusted.
Yeah, that's done.
Confident in his rifle, scope and ammo setup, Stuart takes a clean shot, putting the goat down quickly and efficiently. The pair walk in to confirm death and inspect the carcass. This has been a very memorable and successful stalk, even if it was much longer than Stuart had originally hoped. I'm certain the exercise will do him some good.
Well done. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Long walk.
It was a long walk. And we wondered whether or not they were going to be up here today, because they are transient, they are wild animals.
Yeah.
And, you know, nothing to stop them from being here or anywhere else, just
Yeah.
like the deer. And we made our way up here. And just as we were starting the descent, actually they were in the same place where I saw them last time I was up here, during the red stalking season.
Yeah. We've seen some reds down the bottom actually. There's a good group, couple of...
Good 2 or 3 dozen reds down there.
Yeah.
This is the only one that gave us a chance. She didn't have a follower, so she made for...
She was a good taker then.
She makes for the last last of the cull for this year. Again, we only take a few goats each year. Don't want to hit them too hard. They're a great resource to have up here, and they're great sport. You know, I think a lot of people underestimate them, but we've put a lot of work in today to shooting this goat, and I think it's fabulous. All ready to get off the hill now, and
Get this one into the larder.
get this one into the larder. So, sun's going down on us. We better crack on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long walk, isn't it?
Let's go.
Right, we'll take it in turns dragging then.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. This has been The Shooting Show.